People who don't need it, drink it.
Magical thing, a tablet called Fizzies.
Beep.
Make a V for beep.
The drink so light, beep.
Never.
The 1950s were a golden age for soda fountains and supermarkets, but not every fizzy experiment found success. While Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and 7-Up cemented their dominance, dozens of new beverages were launched in hopes of capturing a thirsty post-war audience. From strange diet colas and vitamin-fortified health sodas to novelty celebrity tie-ins and bizarre milk-based fizz, many of these drinks flopped spectacularly. Some vanished within months, others lingered regionally before fading, but all shared a common fate. They failed miserably. So, join us as we explore 25 beverages from the 1950s that failed miserably. When Kirsch Beverages introduced No-Cal in 1952, it was hailed as a groundbreaking alternative for those who wanted sweetness without the calories. Marketed first toward diabetics and soon embraced by figure-conscious consumers, it became the world's first widely distributed diet soda. Using cyclamate as its sweetener, it promised all the fun of soda without the guilt. Yet, the taste was divisive. Many found it metallic and artificial compared to sugar-sweetened competitors. By the 1960s, as larger soda companies like Pepsi and Coca-Cola launched their own diet colas, No-Cal lost ground. When health concerns over cyclamate led to a U.S. ban in 1969, its fate was sealed. Despite its pioneering role, No-Cal vanished from store shelves, remembered today as both an innovator and a casualty in the history of failed beverages. If No-Cal paved the way for sugar-free sodas, how did Diet Right attempt to build on that trend with wider appeal?
Who are switching from regular cola to Diet Right cola. Watch.
People who don't need it, drink it.
Coke's not on a diet. Try it.
The story of Diet Right began with early triumph before fading into obscurity. Introduced by Royal Crown in 1958, it became the first nationally distributed Diet Cola, marketed as a smarter, waistline-friendly alternative at a time when Americans were becoming more health-conscious. For much of the 1960s, Diet Right enjoyed remarkable success, even outselling some rivals and proving there was a real appetite for calorie-free sodas. But its reliance on cyclamates turned from advantage to liability when the sweetener was banned in 1969 over health concerns. Reformulations with saccharin and later blends never recaptured the original popularity. Though the brand lingered in regional markets for decades, its influence dwindled to almost nothing. Diet Right's rise and fall demonstrated that being first can secure early glory, but not lasting dominance. Next comes the beverage that captured children's imaginations.
Tablet called Fizzies.
Hey, Mr. Clown, watch me. Just drop me in a glass of water. I make the best-tasting sparkling drink.
Few drinks captured children's imaginations in the 1950s like Fizzies, the colorful tablets that transformed an ordinary glass of water into a bubbly, soda-like treat. With flavors ranging from root beer to cherry, they felt like magic. Just drop, fizz, and sip. Kids adored the spectacle, and parents were intrigued by the promise of a low-calorie alternative. But the novelty wore thin. The taste was often weak and artificial compared to bottled soda, leaving many underwhelmed after the first fizz. When the cyclamate ban of 1969 forced reformulation with saccharin, health concerns deepened and flavor suffered further. No longer a trusted or exciting option, Fizzies quickly lost their appeal. Though occasional revivals appeared in later decades, the tablets never regained their mid-century charm, dissolving into history as one of the era's most curious failed beverages.
All it takes is a little bit of willpower and Metrical. Metrical isn't chicken and dumplings. It is a simple, safe way to lose weight without hunger.
Unlike sodas or flavored drinks, Metrical was sold as a liquid meal replacement, introduced in 1959 by Mead Johnson, for dieters seeking a scientific shortcut to weight loss. Packaged as a nutritional breakthrough, it promised the right balance of protein, vitamins, and low calories in a convenient can. The timing was perfect. Early 1960s diet culture embraced it, and sales initially soared as Americans chased slimmer figures. But the reality was far less appealing. The drink's chalky texture and bitter taste made it difficult to stomach, and doctors questioned whether canned shakes could truly replace real meals. As enthusiasm waned, repeat customers grew scarce. By the mid-1960s, competitors and tastier diet products had taken over, and Metrecal slipped from prominence. Once touted as the future of dieting, it instead became a cautionary tale of overhyped science and consumer disappointment.
She buys Veep.
Make a V for Veep.
The drink so light, Veep.
Never spoils.
Your appetite.
Fresh and fizzy.
Lemon light.
Veep was Coca-Cola's short-lived attempt to capture the lemon-lime soda market in the late 1950s and early 1960s. Launched as a direct competitor to 7-Up and other citrus drinks, it was promoted as a crisp, refreshing option in a category that was quickly filling with rivals. Veep was sold in glass bottles and later cans, but even Coca-Cola's powerful distribution and advertising couldn't give it a strong foothold. By 1961, Sprite had been introduced as a new contender, and its immediate success sealed Veep's fate. By 1964, Coca-Cola quietly discontinued the brand, leaving Sprite to take over as the company's flagship lemon-lime soda. Today, Veep is remembered only through old bottles, advertising signs, and collector's lore as one of Coca-Cola's forgotten experiments. Pepsi's answer to the rising lemon-lime soda market was Team, launched in 1959 to take on 7-Up. Marketed as crisp and refreshing, it briefly enjoyed a head start over Coca-Cola's Sprite, which debuted 2 years later in 1961. Backed by strong advertising, Team found some regional success, but consumers saw little to distinguish it from the competition. With Sprite and 7-Up already entrenched, Team struggled to build a loyal following. By the early 1980s, Pepsi phased it out in the U.S., officially discontinuing it in 1984 and replacing it with newer lemon-lime ventures like Slice, Sierra Mist, and eventually Starry. Though it lingered in select international markets for decades, Team ultimately became one of Pepsi's forgotten experiments, remembered mostly by collectors and nostalgia enthusiasts rather than soda drinkers.
Ever since Mom and Dad found out that Donald Duck is 100% pure orange juice, they've been acting kind of funny.
Launched in 1952 by General Beverages, Inc., Donald Duck soft drinks tried to capitalize on Disney's most recognizable character to capture the booming soda market. The line debuted at the American Bottlers of Carbonated Beverages Convention in Chicago, offering a wide range of flavors: black cherry, grape, lemon lime, orange, root beer, strawberry, ginger ale, lime, cherry, cream soda, and even a cola promoted with the claim of using an improved Pemberton formula. Cheerful labels featuring Donald Duck made the bottles and cans instantly eye-catching, especially for children. For a few years, the brand found modest regional success, but it struggled against powerhouse competitors like Coca-Cola and Pepsi, along with numerous regional sodas. By the 1960s, production dwindled and most flavors vanished. Today, Donald Duck soda survives only as a collectible curiosity, remembered more for its branding than its taste. First introduced in 1958 by Cavan Mineral Water Limited, Cavan Cola quickly became a beloved local soft drink in Ireland. Sold in 250 milliliters and 710 milliliters glass bottles, it built a loyal following across counties Cavan, Monaghan, Sligo, Leitrim, Louth, Donegal, and Meath. Its flavor, described as smoother and less sharp than Coca-Cola, helped it stand out as a regional favorite and a point of community pride. For decades, the cola thrived in its home counties, and by the early 1990s it had achieved a modest national presence. The brand's fortunes shifted in 1993 when Finch's acquired the family-run company and began phasing it out in favor of their own products. By 2001, Cavan Cola had vanished from shelves, remembered fondly as a symbol of local independence overshadowed by global giants.
Introducing Like. Like doesn't add caffeine like Coke and Pepsi. Like gets its excitement from full, rich cola taste.
Like Cola was Pepsi's first attempt at a diet soda, launched in 1963 at the dawn of the sugar-free beverage craze. Marketed as a lemon-lime drink with 0 calories, it was meant to appeal to the growing number of diet-conscious consumers. However, the flavor drew heavy criticism, described by many as flat, chemical, and lacking the crispness that made 7-Up and Sprite so popular. Despite advertising support, it never built momentum, especially once Pepsi introduced the far more successful Diet Pepsi in 1964. By the late 1960s, Like had disappeared from shelves. Today, it is remembered only as a brief and failed experiment in Pepsi's early efforts to capture the diet soda market. If, like Cola, aimed at health-conscious buyers, could novelty sodas like Davy Crockett attract fans through pop culture instead?
Crazy as whereabouts, gold spot, zing zing, gold spot, zing zing.
Gold Spot, introduced in 1952 by Parle Products in India, was an artificially orange-flavored carbonated soft drink. Named after Parle's earlier Gold Star peppermint product, it was marketed as the bright and youthful Zing Thing, appealing especially to children and teenagers. Its vivid color and sweet flavor made it a recognizable presence in the Indian soft drink market for decades. After family partitions, the brand moved under Parle Bisleri, and in 1993 it was sold to the Coca-Cola Company, along with several other Parle beverages. Coca-Cola eventually withdrew Gold Spot in 2000 to make way for its own Fanta brand. Once a household name, Gold Spot no longer exists today, remembered mainly as a nostalgic relic of India's mid-20th century beverage landscape. Beep was a colorful fruit juice beverage introduced in the 1960s by Farmers Cooperative Dairy in Nova Scotia and sold across several Canadian provinces. Packaged in bright cartons, it stood out for its unusual blend of flavors: orange, apple, apricot, prune, and pineapple, sweetened with sugar and stabilized with additives. The distinctive mix divided opinion. Some found it refreshing and unique, while others thought it overly sweet or strange compared to simple orange or apple juice. For many school children, however, Beep became a lunchtime staple, remembered fondly for its cheerful branding. Changing consumer tastes toward healthier drinks and competition from national brands gradually eroded its popularity. After being discontinued in 2010 and briefly revived in 2012 as a nostalgic summer release, Beep was withdrawn again, surviving today mainly as a piece of Canadian beverage nostalgia.
Well, a popular iconic beverage with Indiana roots dating back more than 7 decades had lost some of its sizzle through the years, but Choc-Ola is back with a bang.
Choc-Ola was a chocolate-flavored beverage first introduced in 1944 in Indianapolis, Indiana. Packaged in glass bottles and distributed through convenience stores and vending machines, it blended the novelty of a soft drink with the appeal of chocolate, positioning itself as a fun, energy-giving treat. The drink developed a loyal following, particularly among children and teenagers who enjoyed its sweet, frothy taste. Despite decades of regional popularity, it struggled to expand nationally and faced stiff competition from both chocolate milk and mainstream sodas. Ownership of the brand changed multiple times, each attempt failing to secure lasting growth. By the late 20th century, Choc-Ola had largely disappeared from shelves, surviving mainly in nostalgic memory until a brief revival in 2013 under new ownership. When Choc-Ola fizzled, how did another underdog, Patio Diet Cola, attempt to win buyers in supermarket aisles? Patio Diet Cola was Pepsi's first attempt at entering the low-calorie soft drink market, launched in the early 1960s. The idea was sound, a lighter cola for increasingly health-conscious consumers, but the branding fell short. The name Patio felt disconnected from Pepsi's established identity, and marketing campaigns failed to persuade shoppers that it was a credible cola alternative. Sales remained weak, and the product struggled to build loyalty. In 1964, PepsiCo abandoned the Patio Cola name and reintroduced the formula under a stronger brand, Diet Pepsi. With Pepsi's name attached, the drink gained recognition and eventually became a major rival to Diet Coke. Patio itself lingered briefly as a label for diet fruit-flavored sodas, but its cola version soon vanished, remembered mostly as an awkward false start that paved the way for Diet Pepsi's success.
For beautiful people, Tap Cola. You're beautiful to me. Real cola tastes just 1 calorie.
Tab was the Coca-Cola Company's pioneering entry into the diet soda market, launched in 1963. With its distinctive flavor and sleek, minimalist pink and white branding, it quickly stood apart from traditional colas and built a loyal following, especially among calorie-conscious consumers. For nearly 2 decades, it was the leading diet cola in the U.S. The landscape shifted in 1982 when Coca-Cola introduced Diet Coke, a brand that carried the powerful Coke name and received major marketing support. Diet Coke soon became the company's flagship diet drink, while Tab was gradually relegated to cult favorite status. Despite its shrinking market share, it remained available for devoted fans until Coca-Cola officially discontinued Tab in 2020. Its story illustrates how a trailblazing product can define a category, yet ultimately be eclipsed by a successor with stronger branding and broader appeal. Fanta Red Cream Soda was a nostalgic favorite, introduced by the Coca-Cola Company in 1964. This sweet, red-hued soda combined the flavors of cream soda and fruit, offering a unique alternative to traditional sodas. Despite its popularity, Fanta Red was discontinued in 1993, leaving behind a legacy of fond memories. Collectors and enthusiasts still seek out vintage cans and memorabilia, and some Canadian versions of cream sodas are said to resemble the old Fanta Red flavor. Today, Fanta Red Cream Soda remains a cherished part of soda history, remembered for its distinctive taste and the nostalgia it evokes among fans.
KO. After school! Icy cold or steaming hot. What a flavor KO's got. If it's chocolatey as it can be, it's KO.
KO Chocolate Drink was a quirky soda launched in the 1950s, blending the sweetness of chocolate with the fizz of carbonation. Named after K.O. Mullins, the tough little brawler from the Moon Mullins comic strip, it stood out as one of the more unusual soft drinks of its era. Its chocolate flavor gave it a small but loyal following, especially among children who enjoyed its novelty. However, it remained more of a curiosity than a mainstream hit. Many cola drinkers found the taste odd, and without strong national demand, bottlers had little incentive to keep it widely available. By the 1980s, KO had disappeared from the market, leaving behind a nostalgic footprint. Today, it survives mainly in the memories of those who grew up with it and as a collectible oddity for soda enthusiasts. Beverly was Coca-Cola's attempt to enter the aperitif soda space, launched in Italy with a bitter grapefruit-inspired flavor meant to stimulate the palate before meals. Unlike the sweet colas most people expected, Beverly was intentionally sharp and dry, echoing the European tradition of pre-dinner bitters. For adventurous drinkers, it offered something unique. For many others, it was a shock, often described as harsh, medicinal, or downright unpleasant. The bitterness proved too challenging for mainstream tastes, limiting its appeal to a small niche audience. Although Coca-Cola kept Beverly on shelves for decades, it never achieved widespread popularity and was eventually discontinued during a corporate product cut. Today, it endures as a quirky curiosity, sampled in taste tests, remembered in travel stories, and collected by soda enthusiasts who value its unusual place in Coca-Cola's global history.
7-Up is a great drink. But next time, why not take a break from 7-Up with cool, refreshing Bubble Up?
Bubble Up was once a familiar lemon-lime soda with a loyal following, but shifting markets and financial troubles pushed it into decline. By the late 1960s, rising production costs and mounting competition from bigger brands like 7-Up and Sprite made it difficult to hold ground. In 1970, the company behind Bubble Up filed for bankruptcy, leading to the drink's disappearance from many store shelves. Unlike some failed sodas, Bubble Up wasn't undone by a poor formula or scandal. It simply couldn't survive the economic pressures of the industry. Though later revival attempts brought it back in small, limited runs, the drink never reclaimed its earlier popularity. Today, Bubble Up stands as a reminder that even well-liked products can vanish when business struggles outweigh customer loyalty, leaving behind nostalgia and a handful of collectible cans. Spur Cola was Canada Dry's ambitious entry into the cola market, introduced in 1948 with the upbeat slogan, "It's a dandy." Marketed as a smoother, less biting alternative to Coca-Cola or Pepsi, Spur briefly gained attention through Canada Dry's wide distribution. However, the fierce cola wars of the 1950s left little room for challengers, and by 1959 the brand was discontinued after struggling to secure a lasting audience. In 1979, Canada Dry attempted a revival, promoting Spur as 99% caffeine-free in an effort to appeal to changing consumer tastes. Despite the novelty, the relaunch failed to compete, and Spur quietly vanished again by the mid-1980s. Today, Spur Cola is remembered through vintage ads, bottle caps, and collector memorabilia, standing as a quirky reminder of cola competition in the mid-20th century.
Hey, you don't have to swallow that. Drink RC and you'll look at colas in a whole new way.
RC Cola, short for Royal Crown Cola, once stood as a strong rival to Coca-Cola and Pepsi, especially in the southern United States. Backed by heavy advertising in the 1940s, it featured celebrities like Joan Crawford, Betty Grable, and Bing Crosby to boost its profile. The drink gained a loyal regional following, particularly when paired with a moon pie, a chocolate-covered marshmallow cookie that became a cultural staple. Country singer Bill Lister even recorded a song about the combination, cementing its place in Southern tradition. While RC Cola never reached the same national dominance as its competitors, it carved out a lasting legacy. Today, the pairing of RC Cola and Moon Pie is still celebrated with the annual RC Moon Pie Festival in Bell Buckle, Tennessee, reminding fans of the soda's golden years and its enduring role in regional nostalgia.
The sassy one from Canada Dry.
Wink burst onto the scene in 1965 as a bold, grapefruit-flavored soda with plenty of personality. Marketed as the sassy one, it leaned heavily on cheeky ad campaigns that set it apart from more straightforward citrus sodas. Its tangy, slightly bitter flavor gave it a unique edge compared to sweeter alternatives like Sprite or 7-Up, and the striking green glass bottles became a fan favorite. Wink managed to hold on to a niche following, but it never gained the mass popularity needed to challenge the biggest brands in the soda aisle. Over time, it slipped into obscurity, surviving mainly through limited distribution and nostalgia-driven demand. Dedicated fans can still track it down in certain regions, though not in the iconic glass packaging that once defined its look. Today, Wink stands as a quirky relic of mid-century soda culture with a small but loyal cult following.
Gatorade is different than juices or fruit drinks or soda pop or water. Research men created it. Thousands of athletes swear by it.
Gatorade was born in 1965 when scientists at the University of Florida created a drink to help the school's football team, the Gators, stay hydrated in the sweltering heat. Named after the team itself, the formula blended water, electrolytes, and sugar to replenish energy and fluids lost during intense activity. The concept was groundbreaking in the U.S., giving rise to what became known as the sports drink market. While often called the first of its kind, the idea actually followed Britain's Lucozade, which had been around since the 1920s. Still, Gatorade captured the American imagination and quickly spread beyond college athletics. Over time, it grew into a global phenomenon, reaching more than 80 countries and becoming synonymous with hydration and performance. PepsiCo's 2000 acquisition only boosted its reach, cementing Gatorade as the dominant sports drink brand worldwide.